The next few years at the movies are going to be huge. From sci-fi blockbusters and superhero spectacles to epic fantasy adventures, 2026 and 2027 have a lot coming our way. We can look forward to new releases from Marvel, DC, The Lord of the Rings, Dune, Star Wars, and Christopher Nolan. In this preview, we will tell you which blockbusters you can get excited about. For many, this movie is without question one of the biggest highlights of the year, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Matt Damon plays the legendary hero Odysseus, who sets out on his adventurous journey home with his companions after the fall of Troy. The cast is just epic. Robert Pattinson is on board, along with Tom Holland as Odysseus' son, Zendaya as the goddess Athena, and Anne Hathaway as Penelope. Our anticipation is huge, and we are eagerly awaiting the theatrical release on July 17, 2026. This year, the spice must flow. Dune Part 3 is on the way and takes place 12 years after Paul Atreides' rise to power. The film is once again directed by master filmmaker Denis Villeneuve. Besides Timothée Chalamet, the cast also includes Zendaya, Florence Pugh, and Anya Taylor-Joy. The theatrical release is scheduled for December 18, 2026. It's going to be a wild day, as Avengers Doomsday premieres on the very same date. People are already referring to it as Doomsday. We are also eagerly looking forward to the film adaptation of Project Hail Mary starring Ryan Gosling. The novel, written by the Martian author Andy Weir, is very popular among sci-fi fans. In Project Hail Mary, Gosling's character, Ryland Grace, wakes up with no memory as the sole survivor aboard a spaceship, millions of miles from Earth. You can find out what this is all about starting March 20th, 2026. Another adaptation of a novel is coming our way with The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. The prequel is set 24 years before Katniss's first participation in the games. The focus is on her future mentor, Haymitch Abernathy, who takes part in the 50th Hunger Games. The young Haymitch is played by newcomer Joseph Zada. Also starring is Ralph Fiennes as President Snow. Directed by franchise veteran Francis Lawrence, the movie will arrive in cinemas on November 20th, 2026. After a long break from theaters, a new Star Wars film also awaits us in 2026. In The Mandalorian and Grogu, Grogu and Din Djarin embark on a new adventure. The story is set after the third season of The Mandalorian. Joining Pedro Pascal this time around is sci-fi legend Sigourney Weaver. Mando and Grogu will be hitting the big screen for the first time on May 22, 2026. 1 year later, Star Wars Starfighter is on the slate. The movie is set 5 years after the events of Episode 9, but it is not part of the Skywalker saga. Instead, we can expect a standalone story featuring entirely new characters. Ryan Gosling stars in the lead role, with Deadpool and Wolverine director Sean Levy at the helm. The film will be released on May 28, 2027. Anticipation is also high for the return of Hollywood legend Steven Spielberg. His new film, Disclosure Day, finally revolves around aliens again. The leading roles are played by Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor, among others. You can find out more in theaters starting June 12, 2026. Classic fantasy awaits us with The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. The story runs parallel to the events in The Fellowship of the Ring and follows Gollum's adventures. Andy Serkis returns in his iconic role and also takes on directing duties. Ian McKellen has hinted that he and Elijah Wood will reprise the roles as Gandalf and Frodo. The movie is set to hit theaters on December 17, 2027. By the way, here's a quick tip. If you don't want to miss any news, updates, or trailers for upcoming blockbusters, then download the KinoCheck app. It will keep you up to date at all times. Plenty of monster action awaits us with Godzilla x Kong Supernova. The two cinematic giants are expected to face off against Space Godzilla. Supernova is scheduled to release in theaters on March 26, 2027. The Japanese film Godzilla -1 also continues its story. The sequel Godzilla -0 has just been given a release date and is set to premiere on November 6, 2026. You can also look forward to the second live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon. While the first remake stayed very close to the animated film in terms of style and story, the sequel is said to include some changes. Find out what that means on June 11, 2027, when the movie hits theaters. But with Moana, another live-action adaptation awaits us about a year earlier. The lead roles are played by newcomer Catherine Laga'aya and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Moana opens in theaters on July 10, 2026. Old-school action fans are in for a treat as well. Top Gun Maverick director Joseph Kosinski will bring a new Miami Vice film to the big screen on August 6, 2027. This time, The iconic cop duo will be played by Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler. We are also eagerly awaiting the new James Bond film by Denis Villeneuve. There is currently neither an official release date nor a new Bond actor, but casting is scheduled to take place in early 2026. In addition, action fans can look forward to the grand finale of Fast and Furious, though the exact release date of the 11th film has not been confirmed yet. The next big Marvel blockbuster is coming with Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Besides Tom Holland and Zendaya, the cast is quite impressive. It includes Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, Stranger Things star Sadie Sink, and John Bernthal as Punisher. Brand New Day hits theaters on July 31st, 2026. A year later, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse brings one of the most popular animated series of recent years to a close. In the sequel, Miles Morales faces off against both the Spider Society and villains like Prowler and Spot. The movie is set to release on June 18th, 2027. Of course, one Marvel film stands out in particular: Avengers: Doomsday. The first teasers have already dropped, promising the return of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, among others. The cast also includes several members of the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and many more. The antagonist Dr. Doom is played by Robert Downey Jr. With Doomsday and its sequel, Avengers: Secret Wars, the multiverse saga is nearing its end. Doomsday opens in theaters on December 18th, 2026, followed by Secret Wars a year later on December 17th, 2027. DC also has some highlights in store for us. One of these is Supergirl, played by Millie Alcock. The movie is based on the popular comic series Supergirl: Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. Supergirl was already introduced in James Gunn's Superman. She will be seen in her solo adventure starting June 26th, 2026. But Superman's story also continues. In Man of Tomorrow, the Man of Steel faces a new adversary, Brainiac, played by German actor Lars Eidinger. Will he prove to be a worthy opponent for David Corenswet's Superman? We will find out as soon as the film hits theaters on July 9th, 2027. Before that, though, the DCU brings us Clayface. The movie about the classic Batman villain is said to lean heavily towards horror and be reminiscent of classics like The Fly. The theatrical release is set for September 11th, 2026. Speaking of Batman, after some delays behind the scenes, Robert Pattinson finally returns as Bruce Wayne in 2027. According to director Matt Reeves, we can expect a completely new villain this time. Returning to the cast are Colin Farrell as Penguin, Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon, and Andy Serkis as Alfred. New to the cast is Hollywood star Scarlett Johansson. The Batman 2 is now scheduled to open in cinemas on October 1st, 2027. Horror fans will also have plenty to look forward to in the coming years. Kicking off 2026 is Scream 7, and franchise veterans Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox are back. The movie opens in theaters on February 27th. Just in time, Scary Movie 6 comes out on June 12th, 2026, also bringing back many familiar faces. There's also a new Resident Evil reboot. In this case, the director is the main reason for optimism, Zach Kreger, known for hits such as Weapons and Barbarian. The movie is set to premiere on September 18th, 2026. A new Insidious film will be released about a month earlier on August 21st. Another popular horror film series continues as well. Following the prequel A Quiet Place Day 1, fans can now look forward to A Quiet Place 3, set for release on July 30th, 2027. Fans of dark, atmospheric horror can especially look forward to Christmas Day 2026, which will see the release of Werwulf, the new film from Robert Eggers, known for Nosferatu and The Witch. The boom of video game adaptations shows no signs of slowing down in the coming years. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is set to release in spring 2026, and we can expect fan favorite Yoshi to make his first appearance in this sequel. Which other characters from the games might be featured will be revealed no later than when the movie hits theaters on April 3rd, 2026. Also in the spotlight is the live-action adaptation of The Legend of Zelda. Expectations are sky high. After all, it is one of the most popular video game franchises of all time. The main characters are played by two relatively unknown actors. Link is portrayed by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, while Bo Bragason takes on the role of Zelda. The movie is set to hit theaters on May 7th, 2027. The hugely successful A Minecraft movie is getting a sequel. Alongside Jack Black's Steve, Alex, who is known from the games, will make her appearance this time. We also expect many cast members from the first film to return. A Minecraft Movie 2 is scheduled to open in cinemas on July 23rd, 2027. An early highlight among the upcoming video game adaptations is Part 2 of Mortal Kombat. The sequel was originally supposed to be released in 2025, but then it was postponed on short notice. Mortal Kombat 2 will now arrive in theaters on May 8, 2026. Fans can also look forward to the new film adaptation of Street Fighter. The project has already made headlines with the casting of Jason Momoa and 50 Cent. The reboot is set to premiere in cinemas on October 16, 2026. And the popular Sonic franchise is also hitting the big screen with a new installment. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is scheduled for March 19, 2027. Details about the plot are still under wraps, but the filmmakers are reportedly taking inspiration from the popular game Sonic CD. Here, Metal Sonic and Amy Rose take center stage. Of course, we can also anticipate several animation highlights in the coming years beyond just Mario. Among them is Toy Story 5, set to hit theaters on June 19, 2026. Shortly thereafter, on July 1st, the third Minions movie will arrive in cinemas, followed by Ice Age 6 on February 5, 2027. After a 20-year hiatus, The Simpsons will also make their big screen comeback. On September 3, 2027, The Simpsons Movie 2 will hit theaters. Another highlight for many is surely the long-awaited sequel to Frozen. According to early information, we can expect to see Anna's wedding. Frozen 3 is set to be released in cinemas on November 24, 2027. That was our look ahead at the biggest blockbusters of 2026 and 2027. Now we want to hear from you. Which movie are you most excited for? And which ones are you a bit skeptical about? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for all the latest trailers, news, and updates from the world of movies and series. Thanks for watching.